Hello, this is Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and today we are going to start my collage on the theme of teacups. And last week I decided that I wanted to do a steampunk picture with teacups. And I have tried several things. I have several of them paper clipped in here and changed my mind more than several times. But this is what I've decided on. And I need to take some of these off. These were ideas. And you'll have to see how I work them out. Okay, we have a lot of gluing to do. I have gone in and cut some scrapbooking paper to the size of my pages. This is my blank pages, and I want to do a double spread, and I need to glue these down the first thing. And then I also cut some brick scrapbooking paper to make kind of a floor or a table, whatever we want to call it. And I cut another piece of scrapbooking paper that had a rose border that I'm going to put on the bottom of this. So, and we'll show you my teacup in a little bit. But I think the first thing I need to do is glue these pages down. So, let's start with this one. Get my glue mat. And I will put glue on about like this, the way we usually do. And glue it down. So let's see if I can get this on here nice and straight. Yep, I don't think we could get that any straighter. Okay, let's get our second page on. Let's be sure our page will turn okay. I'm not sure that there's anything I can do to minimize this middle where it needs to close. I have a little bit of an edge to cut off. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I don't think there's anything we can do. I could put a washi tape down along there, but it would not blend any more than this does. Maybe we won't notice it. Alright, I wanted a brick wall or a brick floor down here. So I cut several. And I want to match those bricks. Something like that. So this one needs to go down first. But there are things that will probably need to be tucked underneath this. So I want to remember not to put glue on the top of these. And the top is right here. So I need to glue this part. I'll leave about that much unglued for now, and we can add glue later. There we go. Now let's see. Takes care of part of my gappy look. Sometimes the most challenging part is the background. Now I could have painted this background, but I wanted to use this paper this time. Now, ooh, that one matches fairly good, doesn't it? And I need to leave the top unglued, so we need to glue. Some of that will be overlapping, and we'll cut it off. There we go, just what we wanted. And this is not glued up here. There we go. And this will cut off. All right, I've got my brick fastened down with a, it's not got glue at the top, so I can slip things under there if I need it. Now I want to add some flowers. I want a flower border to run along the bottom. And I don't know if I'll need to slip things under here, so I'm going to leave the top without glue and glue along the bottom. So let's start with this piece. How is this going to fasten in? I need to be sure first. Yeah, I think that can just go over. All right. Glue along the bottom here. And I have to remember to come in and glue this top before I'm done. Now I need to be sure it will fit when the page is open all the way and when the page is closed. And I think it needs to go a little bit this way. Okay. Now I need to add some glue to this. Now this has all been edged with ink so that it blends in well. Okay, that was easy. Now, my focal point will be this teacup. Isn't that a pretty teacup? I had a lot of them in my book, but I chose this one because it was large and it actually had probably what is coffee in it, where the others had flowers or nothing at all, or just odds and ends, but not very many of them had coffee in it. And to stay with my steampunk image, I'm going to put a clock right there. And when we do something like cups or whatever, we need to let the edge of the page come up like this. It comes out here. We don't do it like this and sit it up in the air. We set it down here like that. Now I think I need to cut something into the coffee so that steam can come up easily. And I had a piece of paper that had light waves in it that I thought would make great steam. If I make a slit there, and it can go crooked off the page like that. Why don't we see if we can get those down? I need to get my X-Acto knife and cut a slit. Should it be here, down farther, or in the middle of my coffee? I think in the middle of my coffee, I'll make a slit. Like that. What do you think of that? I think that looks good. But before I glue it down, I also need stems for my roses. I don't think these are roses. I can't think of the name of them right now. Flowers also coming up out of this. And they don't have very long stems, so I'm going to have to steal some stems from some flowers in my book to add to them. And I think they should go on this edge. So I think maybe I should go find my stems next, so I know how to slit this before I glue it. But I really like this. So I will be right back with you as soon as I find some stems. Okay, I have found this leaf that has a brown middle in it that I think I can extend that stem with and have enough to add to that stem also. So let's get that cut out. Okay. Now I do need to ink the edges, but let's see how we want to go here. Actually, this one doesn't need too much stem on it, does it? I'm going to go ahead and cut a slit for the flowers right here on my coffee cup. Teacup, but coffee's in it. Okay. We'll lay this aside for a minute or two. Find my stem, and let's ink that. Just give it a little bit of inking. And I think that will do it. So we have a lot of stem there we can add to that one. Let's turn this over and get this bit of stem glued in. Okay, and we can cut this about here. I'm going to go under my flower. And let's get this stem in over here. So, okay, and let's get the little bit of steam here put into its little spot. And I think all this needs to be glued down. Right there. What do you think of that? Turn it over gently, and let's get some glue on these. I am being so clumsy now. Let's turn it over and get what we can stuck down. Now, we want to go about like that. This needs to go really at an angle, so these go up in front of it. So let's get some glue on this. Now our stems, we need to get them settled. Oh, I forgot I also had a spoon to go in here. Let's get this glued down. Something like that. And this one will be like that. This one really is almost didn't need a stem, did it? So let's glue this flower down. Okay. And let's get some glue on this flower. I think I'll stick this here to kind of fill that area. Let's get this cut. There we go. Now I have to decide. I think I want some gears to go in here. First, I want to put this clock on before I lose it. I have to figure what way is 12. We better put that at the top. And this just follows the line of the bottom of the cup. There we go. My Steampunk teacup. Now, I think next we're going to look at putting some gears either along here or along here. I like that so far. And this side's going to have words on it. So we have some gears to put in here and some words to put up here. And maybe a butterfly or a bug or two. I think this is all ready to dry. And I'll come back with you in a few minutes. All right, I'm back from a break. In fact, it's another day. Life is quite busy right now, and I'm having to do this video in sections. So I hope I make sense from one section to the next. Now, we glued all this down, and I think those are pretty much where I want them. I may put some things along here or along here, but I'm waiting to see about that. And over here is words. Now, let me show you my words. And I already worked on these because it's very time-consuming to do. I'm going to have a light bulb up here. We are doing this page, and I want streams of light with words in them coming down. So, I have some craft paper streams. And this is just approximate. Let's see, coffee. Elixir. Is that how you say that? Elixir, I guess is how you say it. Oops, this way. Of the gods. Now, actually, I'm a Pepsi Mountain Dew person, so I would say that more for Pepsi and Mountain Dew. But I know a lot of people feel that way about coffee, even in my family. So I know that for a fact. Now, these should come down and go behind the brick. Now, I accomplished this by laying a piece of craft paper over this, and I clamped it down so it would be in approximately this position, and then I drew my waves and wrote my words in, and then cut the pieces out, which left me with this. Now, it's kind of messy right now. I'll have to get it glued in. But I need to know where those are landing, and it's best if they go behind here. And I think maybe we should get these glued down next. Let me get some glue. And my glue sheet, we'll just put it right there. Let's figure out where the light bulb should be. This can come across here. I think right about there. Let's glue the top of the bulb so it will stay in place, and then I'll tuck the ends under. My bulb hanging straight? Yeah. Okay. Let's get this one. My first ray. my second ray. In fact, I think I'll only put glue on part of this. There we go, and now we'll glue the bottom part. This is packing paper that came in Amazon shipping our products to us. And it's rather thin, but it's good craft paper anyway. Now we'll get this tucked under. There we go. Just made it. I'll need this to come over that little spot a bit. Elixir. Let's do the same thing. We want it to come about here. Yeah. Okay, we'll do the same way. I keep saying that elixir of the gods, nectar of the gods, something delicious. And it says in a definition for elixir, it's guaranteed to make you fall in love with something. And that seems to fit coffee, because so many people love it and can't do without it. Not criticizing them, because I'm that way with my Mountain Dew and my Pepsi and my Coke. I hope that goes all the way under. Yes, it does. Good. And time for this one. It's got to come all the way down and go under. Yeah, that'll be about right. There we go. Now I think we can fasten that light bulb down all the way. There we go. I don't know about this yet. I have some gears. You know, gears are popular in steampunk art. And I either want to put some gears behind these flowers or behind the wall. And I'm not sure yet how I want to do that. Here's one of my gears. They may go like this. Behind the brick. I think that might be better, because if I put them behind the flowers, that works too. But I'm thinking behind the brick. I've got several gears. Maybe I should figure that out next. Let's get our gears all out. Now you will have to hunt for gears. I found some of these in my steampunk book that were in a picture, and I cut these off the edge of the picture. And some of these were in my cut and collage books. Not too many, but a few. And believe me, talk about fussy cutting being tedious. These are. Okay, let's see if I do have enough gears to make it across here. We've got this, and these were whole gears when I cut them out, but I cut them in half so they would go farther. Since these are the only two I found in my cut and collage books, and these were what I could find in my steampunk book. Yeah, I think I'm going to have more than enough. In fact, I should cut this here. There. And here. Okay, let's hold on to these two for now. There we go. Now I'll need to cut that edge off. And now we need to glue the brick themselves down. I don't think there's anything else coming up from them. Let's cut this. I'm over here in the corner, kind of. We'll keep this little edge of the gear. We might want it. Never know. Okay, let's go over to this page and glue the brick down. There we go. Now, I was wondering, I don't know, I like it that way. I could put some yellow colored pencil lightly between the rays from the light. What do you think? I'm not sure. I wonder what it would look like. Let me get my yellow pencil and we'll try. Now, I have a leftover piece of this background paper. Let's see what the yellow pencil would look like. Ooh, I think that would be nice. So I'm going to color these sections lightly, just tint it with my yellow Prismacolor pencil, but any colored pencils should work, even a crayon, chalk, paint. The easiest, I think, is the colored pencil because it's not sticky and doesn't need to dry. Okay, I have all this colored in, and I want to do a little bit here outside of my brown paper because light will go everywhere from that bulb. And one nice thing about the Prismacolor, they're very soft leaded pencils, and you can make it look so soft and blend it in. They're wonderful. Oops. Okay. What do we have left? I have this little gold bug. I think I'd be flying around the light or flying around the flowers. And I think I might find a steampunk butterfly to put up here. So I'm going to take a peek through my steampunk book. I know there's some interesting butterflies in here. Let's see if there's something else we might like to use. This is what inspired me. It was a cup among flowers and butterflies. Of course, they had a cute little table and other things in theirs. But we have to work with what we have. Let's find the butterflies. There's so many neat things in here. Aren't these neat? Sometimes I can put too much in a picture, and it kind of ruins them because I put so much in. But then I see pictures where they put so many things in, and it's so fascinating. I'm still learning. This butterfly, he's kind of big, but maybe not. There'll be butterflies as big as a teacup. This one could work, or this one. I think the rest of them are bigger yet. Yeah, they're bigger. Let's go with this little guy. Let's cut this guy out. That ink worked wonders. All right. Should it go? Yeah, I think it should go something like that, shouldn't it? You know, I have some steampunk machinery that could hang down here. I don't know. What do you think? Not quite so big. Perhaps that. Yeah, I like that hanging down. Maybe we can cut it across and then this piece can hang down somewhere else. Yeah, that's an idea. Let's cut it right here. Here I'm not in camera range, am I? I get to thinking and then I forget that I've got a camera on. And this part can go there. What do you think of that? And should we have another piece of machinery? Okay, that was too much, wasn't it? Let's get some of this down and then we will be done. Let's start over here. We've got our bug. Let's get these pipes. Some little edges that need clipped off when it's dry. And now let's get everything down on this side. Gotta watch those antennae. I might rip them off with my glue. So I need to cut off all the edges that are going over. And I think we'll be done with our steampunk teacup. Now, you might want to join us for our next video. It's how to draw a teapot. Now, that doesn't sound very exciting, but since we just did a teacup, we're going to do a drawing, how to draw a teapot, a fairly easy way. And then we're going to do a collage of a teacup. Now, just because we drew one doesn't mean we'll draw the collage in our video. We might have another fun way to do it, just like I think this was a fun way to do the teacup. And it isn't the expected way. I love my little teacup. So, time for me to say bye and get to work on my teapot for our next video. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it gives you inspiration to try making some steampunk things out of things we don't think are steampunk. So, I hope you're having a great day, and bye-bye for now.